Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be building the next building for our build challenge, which sounds like I said build like too many times. But our last build challenge was a school bus that you renovated into something. This build challenge is to take a old historic fixer-upper and turn it into, I don't know, a slightly less disgusting house. So you don't actually have to build anything on the outside if you don't choose to. So you can treat it like an interior design challenge if you so choose. However, you can also add on to the house. But the rules for adding on to the house stipulate that you cannot change anything about the house from the front of the lot back 6 tiles. So not the first 6 tiles of the house, I think it turns out to be like the first 4 tiles of the house cannot really be changed. So the roof line has to stay the same on the front of the house. The windows and doors have to stay the same. You can change the color of the house, I suppose, because sometimes people do have to paint their brick homes. And the reason that they have to paint their brick homes is often because of erosion to the bricks. And the bricks are not wearing well. So they will stucco over and paint their houses. You can also get your brick houses repointed. This is not something you can do in The Sims, obviously, but I'm just saying this is a thing in real life, where bricklayers who specialize in this will come and repoint and fix problem areas on your house, which is actually something that they did on our house. They came and they fixed our chimney and they repointed the corners. And yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing people do. And the reason you might end up choosing not to do that and just painting over the brick is partially to preserve the brick itself and the structural integrity of your house, and etc. etc. So yes, you can paint the house if you so choose. I would probably not choose siding. I would probably choose the stucco or one of the unbent smoothnesses. But I mean, I suppose people might put clapboard over their brick, but I just think that that's a really weird decision. I don't think most people would do that. So whatever, keep it as realistic as you want. Another fun fact about Denver historic houses is that there was not a kiln in Denver that was hot enough to fire the bricks at the temperature that they need to be fired at for the early part of the 1900s. So a lot of early houses, such as this one, would have really crumbly, weird kind of brick just because the brick was never made at the temperature it should have been made at. So yeah, that's actually just a really weird, fun thing to know, because once you know it, then you visit houses and you can just touch the brick and you're like, yeah, this is the bad brick. Or, okay, they have good brick. My house is a blonde brick house. So the outside of it is all blonde brick, which was probably shipped in from elsewhere. And it was a huge status symbol, having a blonde brick house. Woo! I actually don't like blonde brick houses as much just because they're not as iconic looking. And they it's an old blonde brick house. It's from 1915. But it's still somehow just even though it's older brick, it still just reminds me of the 1970s when blonde brick was I don't know, the 1970s. I can't. But I still love my house and she's beautiful and gorgeous. But the interior bricking is all done in red brick because it would have been cheaper. And the interior bricking on our house is the crappy brick. We exposed some of the brick in our kitchen and it is crumbly and weird. So I'm constantly vacuuming up brick crumble dust from her exposed brick. We sealed it, but you know what? It only helps so much. It's got weird crumbling mortar. Oh, I love our house. But yeah, she's old. She's super old and she's breaking all of the time. She always is breaking. It's really just, if you live in a historic house, you know the struggle, the pain, but also the deep, deep and real true love, because I love this house more than I have ever loved a house in my life. It's, yeah. I call her Barbara, and she is my favorite. Anyway, but yeah, this build challenge is kind of to let people go on that similar-ish journey, just of if you could buy a house in a historic district. And I wanted to make it in a historic district because historic districts are really important. They help to maintain our architectural history and architectural culture. And that's especially important with houses because houses are kind of where you get to see vernacular architecture at work. Larger buildings will be designed by classically trained architects. And I think that they have they pull on different styles and it's just different. Vernacular architecture is houses built by regular, normal, common folks who are just looking around at everything happening and thinking, oh, I like that, let's do that. So you end up with like weird things like this house that's using the western false front on the sides of their house just as an aesthetic detail that they liked. And so they were like, let's do that. It's so odd. And I have not seen it very many places, but it is something that you see in Denver neighborhoods where people take some random architectural element from another type of architecture or another style. So they're actually taking Western false fronts from commercial buildings and then repurposing it for this residential building just because they liked the look of it. Yeah, that's why I chose this one. And this is why I'm choosing this build challenge. But yeah, this is like an opportunity for you to just go crazy bananas and do whatever your dreamiest hearts want to do with a house within reason, because it's in a historic district. And to review the rules. All right. No editing. The first 6 tiles. As I said before, the fence can be moved, landscaping can change, but the look of the outside walls has to stay the same. You must place it on a small 20 by 15 lot. Them's the rules. And there are 2 categories, base game or bust, and anything goes. And I'll be picking some from both of those to check out. Just make sure you hashtag your build with Emmengard Fixer Upper so that I can find it. And if you have enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fabulous day.